yourself. But when people are complaining around you, you'll be carried away. But if you know what you are doing, that's why I tell people, up your game when it comes to investment education. Don't just follow bandwagon. If you have investment education, you can do the right thing at the right time.
Thank you, Ambrose. In the light of what you said, let's consider some stocks that actually gained, let's consider top 5 that gained within the last 90 days. 90 days, we pick the price as of day 1 and the 90th, which was yesterday's price, that gained in the market. The leader there is Nimet. Nimet actually gained 125%, thereabouts, and Lasako gained 30.47%, Royal Exchange Insurance gained 27.27%, Airtel Africa 27.13%, and UCAP 26.17%. This means that if you're looking at yesterday's price, closing price, and you take it back 90 days up in the last that's like 3 months, a quarter, that's the increase that price, these stocks have actually gained. If you had bought the stocks, then as of yesterday, you will have made 125%.32, for instance, in an image stock. Now, we need to clarify something, that we're taking absolute figure versus absolute figure. We're not looking at inter-quarter trade, because a stock like Nimet actually went to as high as 2 Naira plus, even within the 3 months, meaning that if you had put your money within these 90 days, you will have gained 125% in Nimet. Now, if you're comparing it to the likes of treasury bills and then other related investment, given that stock market is more risky than that, but looking at the report, the return on it, I think it's worth the risk that you take if you have to look at these top 5 stocks. And another interesting thing is that aside Airtel Africa, the rest are actually penny stocks. So with less than 1 million naira, you can actually get a million units of, for instance, Nimet. Then Nimet is close to 2 naira now, so you can use 1 million to get it. And given the fact that Nimet is in a sector that government is interested in, of course, Lasako is in insurance. I'm surprised Lasako is on this list, because when it comes to insurance, they don't make my top 5 anyway.
Because of the capitalization of that sector as we speak now, and also trying to like the position, now new law has come from the regulator that every quarter give us your capitalization plan. And when they are rolling out this plan, it attracts investors to them. Okay, I mean, this company has to do this, has to do for that. Every investment is against expectation. You don't invest for the past performance. You guess what is, you are expecting, what you are looking at. When they see all those projections from this company, it attracts investors to put from there. Just like you just said, the top 5 companies that just made the 90 days investment return that is impressive. I will tell you, if you look at the recent inflation figure that was released by Bureau of Statistics, that was on Monday, that inflation has risen to as high as 12.82. That means, and this is the highest in the history of Nigeria. For me, it tells you that we are going somewhere that we don't know. That means the policy we are seeing coming from government, they are somehow certain at the same time, it's smart, and there's no coordination between the monetary policy, the fiscal, and even the government agency. There's no coordination. Why will government be jetting about 3.3 trillion to the economy to cushion the effect of COVID-19 and all that? The same government is increasing fuel price. You know that the fuel price will affect across every sector of the economy. Automatically, price of goods will be up. That means the CBN has a plan to bring down inflation through their monetary policy. They'll be struggling. That means you need to carry that your policy will move toward that, that you achieve your goal with ease. But now, this one comes with different policies. At the same time, the same place, you are not getting to where we are going. For me, Nigerians are tired with all this, but you can take advantage of this opportunity to make money. I will tell people, don't just be discouraged. Take opportunity you are seeing, make money and smile to your bank. If you look at the top company there, Nimet is one of the companies I know, yes, investors are following us and investors that they all made money in it. Why? As at March this year, when the pandemic started, I told them through the video that was sent that, the economy is really changing. There's a reset with this pandemic. All you do, look at the sector that will benefit right from what is happening. And these sectors, you can see that they are the ones that even at the top now. One is healthcare, and one is what? Telecom. You can see that Airtel, within that period, they have given about almost 26 return. Tell you that you have to change your normal investment strategy. If you have been in oil sector before now because of the oil price have dropped as low as $12, that means we hit 21 years low, but now coming up, you need to leave that sector for now. Go to that sector that things will work for them and make money. Don't because you are, I love Mobi, I love Tuta, I love eternal, you not stay put and you are making loss. No, sell off those investments, move to where you're supposed to make money, and grow your wealth. Because if you're there, you're going to make money. You're not there just to watch the face of people in the market. And if you look at the next one there, which is
Royal Exchange Assurance.
Royal Exchange and the Lasaco, they are in the same sector. Because of the capitalization of that sector, we can see that. But the good thing again is look at that last stock there, which is UCAP. UCAP, during this period of pandemic, they went to the public, they collected what called loan in form of a bond from the public, about 100 billion. You can see that has already changed the face of UCAP. Their first quarter result was positive, and the price has moved from as low as 2 naira 60 kobo to almost 340 before coming down to this price. You as an investor, look at which sector will I put my money. Don't just say because you are invested, you sit down at home. No, don't follow Babagon. Do your research, ask contact people that are in the market, let them advise you. You make money because as you speak now, if you put your money in Treasury B, fine, there's no risk there, I will agree with you. For a whole year, the maximum you can get from Treasury B is 3.43 for a whole year. But in this equity market, where there is high risk, take calculated risk and invest. You will make up to like 20% in 90 days. But why we are putting your fund in Treasury? Because you don't want to take this. For a whole year, we're expecting what? 3.43. You should consider that kind of return. It's your hard-earned money, fine. And also, these windows that are opening for agriculture, come and invest in one product. Those companies, they are good, but know that there's also risk that attached with agricultural business. When now that for almost like 3 months now, we have not seen rain. It's going to affect at the end of the day their productivity or their product or their produce. You need to also know why you are putting money in any investment window you have, so that at the end of the day, it was smart. Because your purpose of investing is to make good return.
Thank you, Ambrose. I know that if I leave the floor for you, you will keep talking about the stock. The love for stock is not here. No. Okay, now we've looked at the past 90 days. Yeah. Let's look at the next 90 days. Oh. Can you give us like 2-3 stocks that you think nobody guarantees anything in equity? That's the beauty about equity. But that you can say based on technical fundamental analysis.
Your past performance, present, and you forecast the future by using all those two numbers, past, present, and also technical analysis, and what is happening around you. You know where a company is going. But actually, I don't give stock, but because of here, we pay for to take stock in investment.
Sorry.
The hell, but I would think now, for now, if you are looking at the next 90 days, there's something that has September as year end, and one of them is Vital 4. And Vital also is within the alignment of the medical sector or the healthcare sector. That means their performance at the end of the year will be impressive, and dividend will come from such a company. And this is the company that have there are two, Nimet and Vitafoam, has September at year end. If you want to make more between now and end of the year, you buy two Vitafoam at as low as 5 naira 50 kobo. Before at 6 naira 680, you have more than 15%. You smile home, and that is higher than what the inflation rate was seeing. That is one. And also, you can look the way of the flour mill, the Northern Nigeria flour mill, or even flour mill Nigeria that has also much as the results they are rolling out are positive. Despite the midst of pandemic, if you read results that came from flour mill Nigeria and Northern Nigeria flour mill, tell you that the consumption for bread and all those flour is still high. That is the only way people can take to manage themselves. Now, despite the pandemic, their results are good. That means they are still making sales. These are the companies you should look at. Look at Vitafoam, look at flour mill Nigeria. You can also look at flour mill, Northern Nigeria flour mill. At the same time, this UCAP that just UCAP is good because if you are looking for high dividend yield in the market, as we speak now, UCAP is the highest dividend yield, about 18.2% in terms of dividend yield, and it's above the inflation as we speak now. For that, these are what you use as an investor to make money. Don't just say because the economy is bad, there's pandemic. I'm telling you, look at mature economy. Their stock market are looking up whether the economy is on this array. You as investors, another Nigerian economy, which sector is benefiting from government injection of funds into the critical sector, and invest your money wisely.
Thank you very much. Of course, I'm still mentioning sector. You have to consider agri sector. Of course, of the stock market.
Yes.
I'm not saying put your money to. I mean, all this. I run a piggery business. I run farm business. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about stock.
Yes, you are very correct.
Yeah, on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, stocks like Okomo Oil, Fresco
and
FTN Cocoa, Livestock.
No, I think they are doing well because if you look at their number for first quarter, second quarter, even their last year, 2019, you can see a trend of uptrend of earnings. That means the company is improving their earnings, and when the company is improving their earnings, it's likely also to grow the dividend at the end of the year. That means if a company that paid you 2 naira dividend for 2019, and now it's making up to like 6 naira or 4 naira earning per share as a second quarter, you can forecast by the end of the year they can make as high as 8 or 7. They can pay you 3 naira dividend with ease. That means they can also grow their dividend. For you, these are the kind of sectors you look at. The agriculture, as I mentioned, the healthcare, telecoms. The banking sector, as I said, is an engine. But now, because of what's happening in the economy, we're going to bounce back on the banks because they've said, they said giving loan to the public, and those public, their business are still struggling. To service their loan will be a problem. That's why the CBN said they should give them 1 year, free interest. That means at the end of the year, banks, bottom line or profit will be affected. But if you bank, at a lower price, you can enter bank. But for me, bank, dividend for 2020. Actually, you expect there will be dividend cut for the banking sector. But if many of them will maintain, like equilibrium, pay what they pay the previous year, that will be very nice. But I believe what is happening in the economy now will affect most of the banks' bottom line. That will affect their.
I'm sure a lot of them will want to at least keep it the same level for the sake of foreign investors.
Good. That would be very nice. That will also
all right,
the local investor.
Thank you, Ambrose. Let's talk about 2 results really that came during the week. That is Northern Nigeria Flour Mill. Fantastic results. Their revenue. They grew revenue by 68.97% and profit after tax by 536.92%. Now, when I looked at their 2020, that's Q1 though, their Q1 results, Q1 results, and looking at their 2020 Q1 results, if you look at profit after tax in relation to revenue, you see that it was about 35%, meaning they were able to keep their cost at about 65%. If you compare that to 2019, it's about 9.5, meaning that their cost was about 90-something%, and it shows either better efficiency in them managing their cost, or maybe an extraordinary income came in that actually boosted this, profit after tax. I don't know. But because if you look at Flour Mill too, which is a bigger company that's even their major shareholder, I think 51%, year in, year out, their profit after tax ratio to revenue remained at 3-point-something%. So I don't think this is actually an industrial norm. I don't know what NNFM is doing that is making their profit after tax better in terms of ratio and absolute term.
No, actually, if you look, I said it when I was explaining some things before now, that sector, the flour industry business, and they are doing well. And despite the pandemic, I see that they are still making money. But one thing that is working for Northern Nigeria Flour Mills, one, they have a contract of feed. As they are producing, they have some I call it a raw material come out from the process, and it's a form of feed, which they have contract already to zone. On that contract, the contract moved from about 300 million to 1.something billion. You can see the growth there. That alone will support their top line and also the bottom line at the end of the day. And not only that, as I said, that their profit margin is about 36. That means in every 1 naira sales they are retaining about 36 kobo as profit. That means it's a good business for me, and it's a company that one can look at. And if you look at the trend from 2019 first quarter to now, there has been an uptrend growth in terms of their performance every quarter. That means this company is doing something others are not really aware of as to speak now. I tell you that you are an investor, you take advantage of this kind of trend to position. Now, for like 8 years, they didn't pay dividend. But for 2020, that ended in March, they paid you 15 kobo. They started selling for around 3 naira each when the result came to the market. Let me with this number we're seeing now, they're likely to pay you nothing less than 30 kobo at the end of 2021 by God's grace. Then for you, you're going to plan in that direction. Mark you what you should look at. During this crisis that consumers' purchasing power is low, their earnings, that means people are still consuming their related products, like bread and all those cake and all. That means for me, it's a sector that you look at. Compare the result of from Nestle, from Unilever or PZ, or Cadbury. They all posted a decline in their half-year result. But these companies in flour retail business, all their numbers are looking up. For me, it's a time to look at such an industry.
Ambrose, I understand you're very, very optimistic when it comes to NNFM, but is it not too early for us to begin to say it's going to be consistent? I'm just
because I said for the past from 2019 first quarter to date, I've been an uptrend. Yeah,
they've been sleeping for like 8 years.
No, but if somebody is sleeping for 8 years, you wake up since first quarter 2019. See, to this another that is 1 year.
Should we wait second quarter, third quarter to see that they are fully awake?
Good, we can still see their second quarter to consider. But for me, it's a pointer what is happening as an investor. That is how to invest. You don't wait until you see the figure. You invest against something. That's why investments are good. Even if you are in Treasury B, they say 1 year is the next year. They say 3 months. Every investment is against expectation. For that, if we are seeing a good number coming from them, It gives you an insight at what is going to happen at the end of the year. For that, you start positioning now. Don't wait to see the number. It's only the novice investor want to wait to see number, they start jumping in. The smart investor have entered, when you are jumping and then they will be selling on you because they know, oh, this company is going to do well, positionally. And you see the number, oh, this number is fantastic, good. You start bringing your money to go and buy. As your price is going up, the guy that enter early will be smiling because he's going to make money on your head. Actually, just sell off for you. He moves to another investment position. That is how you need to understand the market. Up your investment education. That is the only thing we need now in Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Ambrose. Of course, at the end of the day, stock market is risky. But of course, in finance, the higher the risk, the higher the expected return. Thank you, Ambrose.
Thanks for having me.
We go on to the second segment, which is business segment. We talk about loans and why you need to get a loan, when you should get a loan for your business now, not personal loan. All of this after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's still the Profit Point Show, and on this segment we talk about loan. At a point in time in every business, we might be needing to take a loan for expansion, for inventory, or whatever it is that we need money for to move the business forward. But the question is it okay for businesses to take loan for some things and not for some other reasons? If you have to take a loan, what kind of loans are available? And lots more I have in the studio. Mr. Wale Oshisoya, Managing Director, Gateway Savings and Loans Limited, Ogun State. Gateway Mortgage Bank. Yes. Oh, okay. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, sir. All right, so let's begin with what are the different kind of loans that are available to businesses?
Okay, I would like to look at it from the perspective of the entity.
Okay.
Yeah, we have three broad categories of entity. We have those that we say they are publicly, quoted companies. They are on the stock exchange. If such a company wants to take a loan, I will expect that you look at what is available to you. One, if you are quoted, which means your share is on the stock exchange, you can either go back to your existing shareholder, we call it right issues, to raise fund. And, you look at it as how cheap is your, request. Yeah. You can either go back to the public to dilute your shares. You can as well raise preference shares. They are, the technical area. You can go for the venture. That is a publicly quoted company on the stock exchange. The second level of entity is what we call the limited liability company. A limited liability company, you don't quote your shares, but you have private placement to raise fund. You can as well go to the bank to raise fund. It depends on what you're going to use it for. And the third level is what we call enterprise. Under the enterprise, we have three. We have the micro, we have the small, and we have medium. You know, what demarcates if you are a micro is that the staff you employ and the investment into asset. Your staff should not be more than 10, and you should not invest more than 5 million if you are a micro. Okay. A small business or a small enterprise, your staff should not be more than, I think, 49, and then invest more than 50 million. But after that, you have the medium. Medium from 50 up, that's millions investment in it, and the staff above, 50 employee. So in such case, all those one I've mentioned under enterprise, you have some special fund which you can take, which is from government, because government is trying to encourage all those type of companies to make sure that they're able to produce in Nigeria. We stop importation of goods. So to encourage them, there are some specialized banks where you can go. Like if you're into agriculture, we have the Bank of Agric. We have Bank of Industry, which you can go to. Government deliberately injected money into those banks to make sure that all these enterprises can take cheaper loan from them. So those are the type of companies and where you can go for a loan. And what also determines the type of loan you take is what do you want to do with it? Purpose. It's your purpose that will determine. If, for example, you want to raise funds for your what we call working capital, you better go for OD, overdraft.
Okay.
If it's for the investment to buy asset and all that, go for pure loan, which is tenant loan, which you're going to be paying. They have different, qualities as well as requirements.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir. The way you explain, you may look like it's, you mentioned Bank of Industry, Bank of Agric, but we know that if you look at the crop of small-scale businesses, medium-scale, micro, there are so many that I doubt Bank of Industry can take care of all of them. And I even doubt a lot of them have enough documentations to actually even approach these banks for loan. So you might see some of them going to the loan sharks that are ready to give them loan at 4-5% in a month and then paying in 6 months. I'm sure maybe you won't recommend that, but they just feel it's easier for them to approach these people. It's more costly.
It's more costly.
It's almost hypertensive, but at least they get their money. They get the money then.
Well, what you consider is that what do you want to use the loan
money for?
As long as what's going to be the return can service the loan, can cover the interest they're going to pay, you go for it. So aside from those Bank of Industry I've mentioned, they can go to microfinance banks, which you are just mentioning, whereby the rate is so per month, as well as going to even mortgage institutions. Mortgage banks are there too. They also
mortgage institution.
Mortgage bank.
Just for building?
No, it's not.
Oh, really?
The aspect of the mortgage bank business is divided into two. Yes, still towards having roof over your head, but an aspect of it also accommodates all this enterprise. Yeah, you can go there for overdraft. You can go there for normal loan, tenant loan. Like in my own case now, we have such. We only have that, CBN says you must give towards people who want to have a home, have roof over their head. So we also do that.
Thank you very much, sir. Okay, since you give loan, how do you suggest business package themselves? I'm not even talking about the documentations now. You want to get a loan, do you have to have a particular structure in place? Do you have to be so number of years to be before you can approach? How do you package yourself, your business, before approaching?
In actual fact, you must be a registered institution, a registered company, well known. You must have a setup that will appreciate what it's going to be able to have what we call division of works in that system, whereby we have finance department who can monitor, who know what it takes to take a loan. We have those who are going to use it. It depends on the type of organization you are running. And in finance department, they know that they're going to be asking for some document which must be in place, you know, like your previous account, so it must be there.
Audited?
You mean?
Audited.
Audited in some cases, you know, and where it can be authentic.
Yes.
It must be audited. Audited account, being get ready, the directors fulfilling the obligation, like, you know, having your TIN number, you are paying your tax and all that, they will ask for it. You are getting ready. And, you know, there are something they will have you to prepare to indicate that, okay, yes, you really need a loan, you know, which you call like cash flow. You're going to prepare, making sure that, yes, really, we need, what are you going to use it for? You must be able to analyze it very well, indicating that, yes, if I take this loan, the interest I'm going to pay will be able to, it will cover by what return I'm going to have by taking the loan. So all those things must be in place. Your system must be transparent, you know, that they can come and check. The bank you're going to approach can check and make sure that it's in place. When you have all that, what they will be asking for you now will be maybe additional, you know, requirement, which if you want to go to it, it's only when you apply that then they will ask for those
things. Thank you very much, sir. All right, sir. A lot of people believe that once they need money in business, they can apply for loan. But from your own experience, when do you suggest business should not apply for loan?
Okay. Immediately you calculate what you're going to do with the loan.
And it won't pay back.
And it won't pay
That's
back.
the only criteria.
Don't apply for such loan. Because you see, financial assistance is not only through loan. There are some maybe relatives you can approach that can still afford to give you some money to go into your business without interest. So when you are thinking about financial assistance, don't let your mind go to loan alone. But however, immediately you calculate, you do your calculation and find that you go for this type of loan, I won't be able to pay back. Don't try to apply for it at all.
So it doesn't matter what you want to use the money for, so far you can pay back.
So far you can pay back and you have excess. You're not going to work for bank alone. If you just can pay back and don't have excess, you're working for the bank. You must have at least a checklist so that when I deduct the cost of this loan, I have something that's left back to me as the owner.
Interesting. Thank you very much, sir. In your experience, what are the pitfalls that you've seen? People that have come, businesses that have come for loan, what are the pitfalls that you advise against, or how they can actually improve their chances of getting loans?
Getting loan?
Yes.
Well, if you don't have, many don't have previous record.
As in books of record?
Yes, they can present. Many, by the time you get to the issue of security, don't have. So you need to think about that before, you know, to getting ready. Some, you know, they come without being ready to know what they are going to use the money for. They just want to tell you.
They just want some money.
They just want to tell you, and not that they don't know actually, but they will tell you, I just need so amount. Some don't even know the amount they need. Some mention an amount that will not even cover what they want to do. So until when you analyze, you find that this thing cannot cover what you're asking for. Some they will ask above what they wanted. So you see that then security is there. Some may not be able to provide it. You can ask for guarantor, they can't. So they have some, you know, deficiency that will not allow you to be able to accede to that request.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, sir. What do you have to say to the interest rate? And okay, we are trying to build the economy of micro, medium, small scale. Yeah, given the economy that is not smiling as present. And we know that cost of fund also impacts on the profits at the end of the day. What do you think of interest rates if we have to reduce it? Don't get me wrong, Bank of Industry, you mentioned Bank of Greek, their interest usually single digits, but we know they
because
can't
government,
cater, yeah,
you know, inject that fund there.
So what kind of advice will you give to other lending agencies if we know we can't force them to crash their rates?
It is
But
what
is
you
there-
buy that you sell. It's what you buy that you sell. You see, the way people look at banks is like money grow on the tree and you have it.
Maybe by the time you charge me for text, is
And
money
it's
not
not
growing
so.
on the tree?
The bank is just an intermediary between those who have and those who don't have. You have, I'm very sure you have bank accounts.
Yes.
You kept your money there, and they pay you an interest on it somehow.
Yeah, 3% savings account.
Somehow. Now I'm lending it to another person.
And you're collecting 27%.
No, don't let, you know. It depends on the cost, you know. There are costs you incur before, you know, I can pay back to you, paying the staff, paying for, you know, it becomes when you don't have infrastructure. You know, you burn your diesel throughout and all that, but let's go into that. And what I'm saying in essence is that, you know, bank, they are just intermediary. Now, absolutely, it is what you buy that you sell. I don't expect some bank to be frivolous, just putting interest rate anyhow, but you calculate your interest rate by checking what do I pay to the owner of the money? What do I add to cover my cost? What do I add to be able to have something back to the investors? If you have that, you determine your interest rate.
Okay.
You determine your interest rate.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir. That was Mr. Wale Oshisanya, Managing Director, Gateway Mortgage Bank, Ogun State. Thanks for joining us on this show.
Thank you very much.
All right, we go on the next segment, which is sectorial review, and we talk about where we discuss water business. Water business is such that it's profitable if well done, if you operate it well. We're talking about sachet water and bottled water. After the break, we talk more about it. Stay with us. Welcome back. It's still the Profit Point Show, and on the sectorial segment, we're looking